Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Who needs to win? Fully enlightenment, we are completely with the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Welcome everyone to the Wednesday Dhamma reading. Today we will read a random sutta on access to insight. The Stone Sliver, Samyutta Nikaya 4.13. I have heard that on one occasion the Blessed One was staying near Rājagaha at the Madhukuchi Rear Reserve. Now, at that time, his foot had been pierced by a stone sliver. Executing wide wave the bodily feelings that developed within him. Painful, fierce, sharp, wrecking, repellent, disagreeable, but he endured them mindful, alert, and unperturbed. Having had his outer robe folded in four and laid out, he lay down on his right side in the lion's posture, with one foot placed on top of the other, mindful and alert. Then Māra, the evil one, went to the Blessed One and recited this verse in his presence. Are you lying there in a stupor or drunk on poetry? Are your goals so very few, all alone in a secluded lodging? What is this dreamer, this sleepy face? All alone in a secluded lodging, what is this dreamer, this sleepy face? The Buddha. I lie here, not in a stupor, not drunk on pottery. My goal attained, I am sorrow free, all alone in a secluded lodging. I lie down with sympathy for all beings. Even those pierced in the chest with an arrow, their hearts rapidly beating, even they with their arrows are able to sleep. So why shouldn't I with my own arrow remain? I am not awake with worry, nor afraid to sleep. Days and nights don't oppress me. I see no threat of decline in any world at all. That's why I sleep with sympathy for all beings. Then Māra, the evil one, felt sad and dejected at realizing the Blessed One knows me. The one well gone knows me, vanished right there. So this is a short sutta. This is a conversation between Māra and the Pitta. When Buddha was at Rājagaha in a deer reserve, so he was stuck with a stone on his foot. So he was being mindful and looking at the painful, sharp feeling again with alert mind, how all these contacts, how feelings are arising. And he was lying there in the lion's posture, one leg on top of the other. And then Māra has come in front of him and asked him few questions. Like, why are you lying down with like this? Are you drunk? Is it that you have very few goals? What are you doing in the secluded lodging? Are you dreaming or are you with his sleepy face? What are you doing? The Māra asked. And then the Buddha replied, I'm not sleepy. I'm not drunk. I have attained my goal. I am sorrow free. All alone in this secluded lodging, I am secluded because I have sympathy for all the beings. And Buddha here goes on and said, for those who have arrows in their hearts and whose hearts are beating rapidly, they fall asleep. They are able to sleep. And why shouldn't I rest and sleep? My arrow has been removed. It's really interesting because even the ones who have, like we as a practitioner, who have been practicing and knowing that we are not yet enlightened, still on the path of liberation. Every moment, even though we know we have still things to let go, we can fall asleep. But for the Buddha, his mind, out of compassion for all the beings, out of sympathy for all beings, he is just saying, he is teaching the path of Dhamma out of compassion. And here he says, I'm not awake with worry. He's not worried and he's not falling asleep because of worry. And he's not afraid of sleep. Even days and night do not depress him. And he is already enlightened, so he doesn't have any dread of the realms of existence, lower realms or the higher realms, because he has already taken a breakthrough to the samsara. He was an arahant. And he pleads out of sympathy for all the beings. And then when the Māra heard these answers from the Buddha, the Māra became sad and realized that the Blessed One knows him and is the one well gone knows him. And so the Māra vanished right there. Nanda Madam, would you like to add something?
Well, as you rightly said, Gautam Buddha is enlightened one, so his mind is very clear. There's no craving attached, so feelings doesn't affect him, and therefore he's able to cope with the situation. And thank you for reading this.
So we will try to read another stuff from the second Nibbāna. No, madam, would you like to? Oh, this is very soft. Yeah. Let we can read. Can you read the reading?
Yes. Is it from here? Translator's note as well?
From here.
This is Anguttara Nikaya 5.129, Parikuppa Sutta in Agony, translated by Thanissaro Bhikkhu. There are these 5 inhabitants of the states of deprivation, inhabitants of hell, who are in agony and incurable. Which 5? One who has killed his or her mother, one who has killed his or her father, one who has killed an arahant, and one with a corrupted mind has caused the blood of a Tathāgata to flow, and one who has caused a split in the Sangha. These are the 5 inhabitants of the states of deprivation, inhabitants of hell, who are in agony and incurable.
Yeah, I think this is a short sutta and pretty much self-explanatory. 5 things: killing mother, or mother, father, and arahant, and one with a corrupted mind has caused the blood of a Tathāgata to flow, and then has caused the split in the Sangha. If any of these actions have been done, so then the results of this action, consequences, needs to be faced. The 5 inhabitants of state of deprivation, inhabitants of hell, who are in agony and incurable.
These 5, as you rightly said, these 5 hideous crimes, at any cost, a human being should avoid it, because there are very serious consequences of these 5 hideous crimes. It's not, we can't, the way I understand is we can't eradicate the unwholesome. The result is we have to suffer as a consequence, and this is not avoidable, and we just have to suffer for the length of period. And as the sutta says, Venerable Moggallana eons ago has killed his own parents, and he has, as a result of that, he has suffered in hell for a very, very long time. And even though he was able to cultivate very profound wholesome states, there is a sutta saying that at the end of his life, he was not able to prevent the consequence of his actions, and as he saw it, he just allowed that to happen, and sadly he was beaten to death. So this sutta shows how important for us to live a wholesome life, and we should continuously make an effort to prevent unwholesome actions. Thank you for reading this. Yeah.
Thank you, Madam. Friends, would you like to select the topic that you can read in our Sutta? Or we can search for a topic and then find it ourselves. So actually, I was looking for the topic, right effort. Right. It is one Sutta from Nibbāna. A detailed description of the practice of Noble Eightfold Path. Dhamma Sutta. Nibbāna, 35.8. Analysis. Exactly. 1. I take and analyze for you the Noble Eightfold Path. Listen and pay close attention. I will speak. Yes, Bhante, they reply. The blessed one said this. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can. I think maybe the reception is not that good. It could be signal problem. I think I too have some signal problems.
Oh,
Just have to carry on, I think.
okay. Can I maybe if I speak louder, is it better?
Yeah, it's very, very much better. Thank you.
Okay. The blessed one said this, and what means is the Noble Eightfold Path, that is, right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right collectedness. And what, students, is right view? It is the knowledge of suffering, the knowledge of the origin of suffering, the knowledge of the cessation of suffering, the knowledge of the way leading to the cessation of suffering. This knowledge is called right view. And what counts is right intention? It is the intention of renunciation, intention of non-ill will, the intention of non-harming. This knowledge is called right intention. And what knowledge is right speech? The refraining from false speech, the refraining from divisive speech, the refraining from harsh speech, and refraining from idle chatter. This month is called right speech. And what month is right action? The refraining from killing living beings, the refraining from stealing, and refraining from sexual misconduct. This month is called right action. And what month is right livelihood? Here, noble disciple, having abandoned wrong livelihood, earns his living by right livelihood. This month is called right livelihood. And what month is right effort? Here, a man generates desire for the non-arising of unarising evil and wholesome states, and thus he makes effort, arouses energy, makes his mind benign and strive. He generates desire for the abandonment of arising evil, unwholesome state, and thus he makes effort, arouses energy, makes his mind determine and strive hard. He generates desire for the arising of unarising wholesome states, and thus he makes effort, arouses energy, makes his mind determine and strives hard. He generates desire for continuance, non-disappearing, strengthening, increase, and fulfillment by development of arising wholesome states, and thus he makes effort, arouses energy, makes his mind determined, and strives hard. This man is called right effort. And what man is right mindfulness? Here, a man abides, contemplating the body in the body. He is fully aware and mindful, having put away thought, grief, and sadness for the world. He abides, contemplating feelings and feeling. He is fully aware and mindful, having put away grief and sadness for the world. He abides, contemplating the mind in the mind, being fully aware and mindful, having put away grief and sadness for the world. He abides, contemplating mind objects in mind objects, being fully aware and mindful, having put away grief and sadness for the world. This month is called right mindfulness, and what month is right concentration. Now, here, detached from sensual pleasures, detached from unwholesome states, the now enters upon and abides in first Dhamma, which is accompanied by applied and sustained thought, with rapture born of seclusion, with the discipline of applied and sustained thought, he enters upon and abides in second jhana, which has self-confidence and singleness of mind, without applied and sustained thought, with rapture and pleasure born of concentration. With the fading away of rapture, he abides in equanimity and mindful and fully aware, still feeling pleasure with the body. He enters upon and abides in the third jhana, on account of which noble ones are now. He has a pleasant clouding, who has equanimity and is mindful. With the abandonment of pleasure and pain, and with the earlier disappearance of joy and sadness, he enters upon and abides in the fourth jhana, which has neither pain nor pleasure, and purity of mindfulness and equanimity. This month is called right concentrate. I think this is a very good sutta that summarizes the Middle Eightfold Path. So here I want to emphasize mostly on the part of right effort, also briefly on all of the Eightfold Path. We all know Noble Eightfold Path, and then right view or the harmonious perspective, knowing that this is suffering, knowing the Four Noble Truths, and then right intention, right in right intention. When we are taking the first research, intentional We abstain from intentional feeling we don't mean on purpose, that we say. The purpose, the intention behind the action is what creates the consequences. So the intention should be a wholesome intention. Right speech. There are a lot of suttas on right speech, and it's not easy. Practice the right speech all the time. We can maintain our mindfulness. You see the arising of the unwholesome verbal action in the mind and pause it over there or char it. And then the mind mental action has already been performed. So we know the intention there, how the intention is wrong intention. We use the right effort through right mindfulness, having the right view established. This is salad. And come back to harmonious communication. And then we have right action. The first 5 precepts: abstaining from killing living beings, refraining from stealing, refraining from sexual misconduct. The first 3 precepts, which includes the bodily actions, are given here. The verbal action, which is spread it in the right speech, and the right livelihood. Here, if we see clearly, we can see that a noble disciple, having abandoned the wrong livelihood, earns his living by right livelihood. So even this abandoning the right effort, once have enough mindfulness, enough level of wisdom, having right view established, then only he understands that what the way he is earning his living, it's not wholesome. So if that understanding has come, when he abandons it and starts living by right livelihood, the right effort. So I want to emphasize on the right effort because it starts first. What a student does is he generates a desire for the non-arising of the unarising evil, unwholesome state. So to this we recognize that our mind is still on the object. This is just mindfulness and observation going on in the meditation or in the daily life. So we are aware that we do not have any desire for the hindrance to come up. So we just stay there. We recognize that there is no hindrance. And then even in that recognition, even in that observing, if there is an effort of observation going on, there is an energy going on, and there is a determination to stay with the object of meditation. And then we are striving on the path, we are taking effort. And then here, the unarising evil, unwholesome states should not arise. We may have that desire, but then we know we recognize through our observation that unarising evil, unwholesome state has arisen. So once it's arisen, we recognize it, we release it, abandoning of arising evil, unwholesome state. Here, we are releasing it, letting it go, and relax. And the desire for the abandoning of arising evil, unwholesome state. So once we recognize it, we release it to relax. Even in that releasing and relaxing, we are making effort, we are arousing our energy, we are putting forth some amount of energy in letting go. And our mind is determined to let it go, and we are striving. And you then after abandoning it, it's not like we just stay there, abandon it and stay there and be. No. We now have a desire. The right effort is that you continue the right effort and make a desire for the arising of unarising wholesome states of mind. So now we smile and we generate, we bring back our mind to the feeling of loving kindness. To the feeling of loving kindness before just going back. We have a desire for the arising of unarising wholesome state. So we smile. And when in that smiling, we put effort, we arouse energy, and make our mind with the mind reach the right effort. And then we strive, use the right effort. And then after the wholesome state has arisen, we smile and bring our return to the object of meditation, the feeling of loving kindness, which is a wholesome object. And then one generates a desire for the continuance, non-disappearance, strengthening, increase, and fulfillment by development of arising wholesome states. So what we are doing now again is, now when the mind knows that it had been doing the right effort, unwholesome state has arisen, we recognize it, we let it go, release, relax, we smile, return to the wholesome object, metta. And now we have intention to let the metta keep going. Let the mind be there. Let the metta be strengthened, make increase, make develop. And then even in that maintaining, where we are observing continuous right mindfulness going on, where we are making right effort, arousing energy, making mind with the mind, and strive hard. All of these is right effort. So there is unwholesome state, there is a wholesome state. For us to know what is wholesome, what is unwholesome, we need to have right view, we need to have right mindfulness, and also for our mind to bring back from unwholesome state to wholesome state, we need to have right effort. So all of this right mindfulness, right view, and right effort go together. And now here we have next the right mindfulness. Here we can see it is talking about four foundations of mindfulness: body, feeling, mind, and mind object. So the mindfulness, what is right mindfulness? So here, according to this Sutta, we say contemplating the body in the body, being fully aware and mindful, having put away grief and sadness for the world. So when we see the body as the body, with mindfulness established, yes, this is the body. We are aware. Now my hand is moving. Now I am sitting here. I have the eye contact with my body. And then I'm just aware of it. This is seeing the body as the body. Being fully aware and mindful. So there is no other thing that is worse in sadness or something happened in the morning or in the past happening in my mind. Just seeing the body as the body. And about contemplating feeling in feeling. So, we are made up of these four things: body, feeling, mind, and mind object. First is the physical body, then we have a feeling. So the feeling can be pleasant or painful. So we are being aware. This awareness is mindfulness. When the awareness along with our attention, we know what is happening, how it is happening, then that is right mindfulness. Then we have contemplating the mind in the mind. That's what we are doing. We are knowing what kind of thought is arising. When we are doing 6 hours, when we are practicing the loving kindness, we are practicing mind in the mind. And then when we are doing the 6 hours, we are applying the Noble Eightfold Path rather than just having the mind, knowing what's happening in the mind. We train the mind to let go of the unwholesome and generate the wholesome. This is because of mind object. We are training our mind to the mind object. And what is right concentration? So it goes through 4 jhanas. I have already read this. So my emphasis was on a right effort. And this right concentration is actually Bhante Venuranthi like to call the word collectedness, because the concentration word is misunderstood and it's like a one-pointed, super focused type of concentration. But rather, when we look at the teachings of the Buddha, Bhante gave the word collectedness. It gives an open, aware mind where it's collected, or it's collected around an object, not the focus or like a laser light pointing at one thing, but rather it's being aware of the object of meditation, aware about body, the feeling, the mind, and the mind object. So the right concentration, the right collectedness happens when the mind is down from the unwholesome state. When we observe for the first time, what happens is our mind is rid of unwholesome state. And when we generate the feeling of loving kindness, the person meditation enters into the first dharma. These are the qualities of the first dharma. If we slide and sustain thought, even if you wish, may I be happy or may my friend be happy. And it has rapture and pleasure born of the cleavage. The first time we feel so happy. There is a lot of joy happening. And then when we put forth effort, energy, mindfulness, and strive, then the applied and sustained thought till this uh, it happens all naturally, and person enters upon second jhana. Means it's really working. They have self-confidence, and the mind is singleness of the mind is there. And without applied and sustained thought, rapture and pleasure born of collectiveness. And here in third jhana, what happens is the rupture and fades away. And the key abides in equanimity, mindful, and clear way. And there is still pleasure with the body. He still has the experience of the body. And he enters into the third jhana, on account of which the noble ones feel that with the pleasant abiding. Who is equanimity, who has equanimity and is mindful. And in the fourth jhana, what happens is the pleasure and pain and the disappearance of joy and sadness. All this pleasure and pain is abandoned in peace. And he has equanimity. His mind is not shaken. His neither has pain nor pleasure, but purity of mindfulness and equanimity. This once is called right concentration or right collectedness. Now, madam, would you like to add something? Paul or Gopinath sir?
Well, it is a beautiful sutta. It just explains the Noble Eightfold Path in detail, stage by stage. To me, we start the Noble Eightfold Path with right view by practicing the 6R. I can't tell you how grateful I am, our Venerable Vimala Ramsey, for giving us the 6R. To me, everything starts from 6R and radiating metta. And to me, when we practice 6R, we are weakening the unwholesome states and strengthening the wholesome states. So naturally, even without effort, once I start practicing 6R, I am cultivating a virtuous life, living a virtuous life, and therefore all the other sections of the Noble Eightfold Path just comes into a play. And to me, 6R is the right effort. It is so simple a thing to practice 6R, but has a profound effect on cultivating the mindfulness. And as Sindhu said, the right collectedness, the mind becomes still, and therefore the mind naturally moves into the four jhanas. Okay, this sutta ends with the right collectedness, to me, which is a stillness as well. And when we are have developed the right collectedness, the body and the mind become so still, and the insights just naturally develops, and we tend to understand the Four Noble Truths and the dependent origination, and understand that our own mind create suffering in our lives, and we naturally understand that the relaxation and is vitally important, and uplifting the mind with a smile as well, very, very important, and everything else happens naturally. I have read some suttas that once we attain the fourth jhana, a number of people have experienced awakening. So this sutta summarizes to me 6R beautifully. Thank you very much for choosing and reading this. It's a great sutta.
Gopinath sir, you have unmuted. Do you want to say something?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Gopinath.
Good evening, everyone. So nice to meet you after a long time. So, yeah, listening to this Dhamma talk itself is a pleasurable thing. It softens the mind. It creates joy in the mind. And we vibrate loving kindness to each other. Because loving kindness is like gravity. It actually pulls, like you see the animals, loving kindness flows to mother to child. in a continuous way, not from child to mother, but from mother to child, the loving kindness flows. So same act like a gravity in us. That's why we are able to transform us through this loving kindness meditation. The mind flows like a river. There are a lot of patterns coming up. Once you started understanding the pattern, different pattern, you pattern start losing itself. Then you will be able to sit 2 hours, 3 hours. Okay, thank you so much. Others can speak. Hello.
Yes, Gopinath sir. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay.
When you say the patterns, really our mind has so many different habitual patterns, so many different formations which unfold gradually through the process of meditation. And then we
Yes, yes.
start to see things in a different way, the perspective changes. Really good. We change because of our meditation, because of right effort, because of stars.
Yeah, that's very true. Habitual behavioral reactions just dissipates with metta, as you rightly said, Gopin. Metta just flows like a water, like a river. Yeah.
Maybe we can take a minute. Anybody else want to say something?
Yes, thank you, Sindhu, for taking the session. I was I got some work I could not able to take, but Sindhu immediately has taken this session. Thank you, Sindhu, and thank you all for joining.
We'll take the minutes. We can all read together. Suffering one, be suffering free. In the fearlessly, may the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired, that the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings, inhabitants, space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of power. May belong to the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you all for joining. Wishing all happiness. Thanking you.
May all the beings be happy. Thank you everyone for joining.